Meet Crew Podcast. We are the change we desire to see in this world. If you won't change, you have to be the change. We are looking for 3 more hosts to join our team. If you have a message for the world and would like to be a part of the hottest new podcast and media network rocking the podcast world right now, join Crew Podcast and Media Network. Looking for a little exposure? Allow each TIA Enterprises the opportunity to share your brand around the world. We will work with you to develop a package that fits your budget. Contact AEA via email and schedule a consultation. Crewpodcast 2023@gmail.com. We are the change we desire to see.
Publishing. We are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience and dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most impactful and meaningful ways. So stop procrastinating and let's get started with writing their book.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Crew Podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Crew Podcast. Welcome to Prison Wives and Girlfriends. I am your host, Queen Angela. For those that do not know me across these social media platforms, I'm officially known as the Queen of Collaborations. But my name is Angela Thomas Smith. I am the visionary behind the Crew Podcast, Aspiring Authors Magazine, and AALAC. And my whole desire is to be the change that I desire to see in this world. So I am excited about this new show, Prison Wives and Girlfriends. We're going to give those that have individuals behind prison wall an opportunity to share what that journey is like, to share whatever is laid on their hearts to share. So I'm excited. I'm excited. If you would, please share this in your circle of influence on tonight. I'm going to bring my first guest up and allow her to introduce herself.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I can't complain.
That's good. Well, my name is Alexis Simone. I'm 25 years old. My husband has been incarcerated in the state of Georgia since 2017. We recently just celebrated 1 year of marriage on October the 9th. And we've been together since we were 14 and 13.
Wow. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If you would, I want you to share your perspective, whatever you want us to know about your relationship and just different things. How has it been a wife to someone that is incarcerated? I've heard people say that sometimes they feel like they doing time too. So if you would share what that journey is like for you.
Okay. So pretty much being with someone that's incarcerated is not what they make it look like on TV. I actually hate the show Love After Lockup, Love During Lockup, Love Through Lockup, because it's not as fun and games as they make it appear. Some days we, as spouses, we have mental battles because, it's a lot of things that we wish our husbands were here to do for us. For instance, I recently moved to a new city and, it just makes me appreciate him more because it's a lot of things that, it was just hard for me to do, just being by myself. And then we can also talk about the career struggles that come with it. Based on my sweatshirt, don't know if you guys can see it, but I did attend college. I actually work in the justice system as a probation officer. And I kind of feel like, it's a certain level that I cannot move up to because I am married to an incarcerated person, a convicted felon. So I feel like I'm being punished for my husband's crimes. That's how he feels. He even went as far as to saying, babe, if we can get a divorce so that you can move up in your career, I would be okay with that. But, this is the sacrifice that we take, falling in love with someone behind bars. You can't help who you fall in love with. And I love my husband to death. I would do it all over again.
Wow. I know a lot of people are wondering. I know a lot of people. I am too. Semi. In that situation. I met a guy. And he actually asked me to marry him. He's incarcerated. He's actually been incarcerated for a while. I did not know him outside. When he was outside, he's actually in a whole nother state. I actually met him while he was incarcerated, doing just what I'm doing now, interviewing and sharing people's story. Heard his story, and we just began conversating and having conversations every day, and we just built a relationship. So what has this journey, I know you say y'all have been together since y'all were young. What made you decide that, okay, this is gonna be it, this is the person that I love, I'm gonna be here regardless?
So let's get into the tea.
What was the turning point? You said, okay.
Yes, let's get into the tea. Okay. So me and my husband, even though we did date when we were younger, we actually did take a break. He had a child with someone else. So we were pretty much in that on and off stage. We rekindled probably 3 or 4 years ago, and we decided, hey, we can't see our lives without each other. He was incarcerated at the time. So it kind of was just, I can't see myself without him. Like, he was the first boyfriend I've ever had. A little TMI, but he was, my first sexual experience. I just did a lot of firsts with him, and I wanted to continue to doing a lot of those firsts. He was with me through a lot of my traumatic experiences. While we were on a break, I was in a domestic violence relationship. He was there for me through that. He's just my best friend, he's the person I could tell everything to. I feel comfortable with him. I trust him with my secrets, my thoughts, my emotions. And a lot of people, usually if they don't know me, they say I come off hard. With him, I can let that wall down. Like, he's my safe space. Me and his family, we're very close. Even though he did have a child outside of our relationship, I'm an amazing stepmother to my stepson. His child's mother lets me get him, spend time, build that bond. So it's just, that's my family. So even if, if we weren't to be together, like married, we would still be in each other's lives some kind of way. We never really stopped dealing with each other. It was just he's always the person that I would go back to. As far as getting married while he was incarcerated, he actually proposed to me on April the 25th of 2022. He did it via video. That was the most ghettoest proposal ever, but I thought it was so romantic. But he proposed to me on video, got down on one knee, did the whole shebang. And that was the part that was a little hectic for me. I was very scared to marry him while he was incarcerated. We did marriage through proxy because Georgia does not allow prison marriages at this time. So I just kind of had to look at it and say, hey, am I willing to sacrifice everything that I've built for this one person? If roles were reversed, would he do it for me? And the answer to that was yes. So that's why it was an easy decision for me to make, to marry my husband.
Wow. So how does your family and friends feel? I know you said that you were close to his family. Yes. How do your family and friends feel?
So people laugh at me when I say this, but I'm actually a 3rd generation prison wife. And I just knew I was going to be the one to break the cycle. So when I say that, my grandmother, she's well educated, just like I am. She used to work for the district attorney's office in our local area. My grandfather actually served time. He served, I believe, 12 years, 15 years, I'm not sure. But she was with him through that whole time while still rising in her career. Same thing with my mom. She's an educator. My father served time. He served almost, I want to say, 8 years in prison. She was there the whole time, even though they did not end up being together in the long run. I saw what that is supposed to look like, making sure you're there for him on his worst days mentally, because we don't know what they go through in there. And then you have me. At first, they were a little hesitant about us getting married. They were excited about the proposal, but they did not want us to get married. They wanted us to wait until he came home. He comes home in 2027, so they wanted us to wait until that time. So with when we got married, that's when everything came out about how they really felt. They wish we waited. They wish that we didn't rush into it. Like I said, we got engaged on April 25th, 2022, and we got married on October the 6th, not 9th, October 6th of 2022. So I'm still learning day by day. They throw hints every now and then of, ways that we can communicate better, because that is the biggest issue with me and my husband right now. He feels like he's not getting enough time, but, I have to still maintain the household out here because I'm doing the part of two, because you are where you are. So.
Wow. And how is that? Having to man both ends of the fort.
That is very stressful. I'm a probation officer, but I also have another job. It's another government job that I do part-time. It's tiring. It's very tiring. Trying to manage, getting on the road and going to see him. He was 4 hours away from me. Now he's 3 hours away. I did move a little closer, but not that much. I also still have a social life. I am a part of a social organization, i.e. a sorority, for example. Just trying to make sure I maintain my sanity while making sure that, he knows that he's appreciated, he's the priority. And, I still have to be a wife, even though my husband physically isn't here. I have to make sure he's okay. Like, I have to make sure that I'm taking care of the household and doing my part as his wife, his helpmate. So it's a learning experience. Like, I can't even describe it, but I mean, as you can see, every time I talk about it, I start smiling, because I would do it all over again. As long as it's with my husband, I would do it all over again. I wouldn't hesitate. He understands the sacrifices. I understand the sacrifices that he makes. He understands the sacrifices that I make, and vice versa. We work as a team. Even when it comes to co-parenting with his child, I don't do anything without my husband knowing. He knows everything. I feel like that's the best advice I can give someone. Do not lie to someone that you have behind bars, because they already have 1,000,001 things running in their head. The last thing they need to be worried about is what their significant other is doing, or what somebody who, took a covenant before God is doing behind their back. Everything should be known. Everything should be known. That's the best advice I could give to somebody who recently got married to somebody that's incarcerated, or anybody that's dealing with somebody incarcerated. Do not lie to them. Don't lie.
What are your visits like?
My visits. Okay. So our visits in Georgia, we get 2-hour visits. We can only touch in the beginning and in the end, and then we sit across from each other with the table in between. The ride up there, that's a long ride. And I usually go up there and come back home the same day. I haven't been doing that much lately. I've been staying in a hotel, and then coming back just for my safety, because I don't want to fall asleep on the road. Or anything like that. The process getting into the prison, I definitely feel like they need to work on that more and kind of make it a little more to where it's not so, I understand it's prison, but not so strict. Like, it's been times when I took his son or whatever to go see him, and they don't allow the kids to like sit on their fathers that long. That really bothers me, because it's like, prior to me and my husband getting married and me and his child's mother forming that relationship, he hasn't seen his son since his son was 3 months. So when he went away to prison, his son was 3 months. His son is 7 now. So that's a long time. So like when they first saw each other after all that time, I felt like the guards should have let up a little bit. They kind of knew the situation. Also, many times when my husband, he's lost family members, and I've had to do, grief visits, they're still strict on those. And I'm just like, even though they're locked up, they're still people. They have feelings. They can't go home or go to the funerals to see their loved ones. Like, let up a little bit. Like, what if it was you? You get what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like sometimes they forget that they are humans and that they do have feelings. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that they need to work on. But all the lovey-dovey stuff is good, but I do feel like, as somebody who knows the criminal justice system from a logical standpoint and from, like a book standpoint, it is a lot of corners that the state of Georgia cuts specifically, that they do need to fix immediately. So.
Wow. And I can only imagine if you say Georgia is needing to fix some things. I hate to talk about Texas because they are terrible. They are terrible.
Scary stories about Texas.
Do Georgia offer like a I forget what they call it. I know in New York, you can actually if you're married, you can have a overnight visit. They have like a facility that you can go to. You can go, I think they check in on Friday and then they check out on Sunday. It's like mobile homes or something, but it's right there on the prison property. And they get to do that like every 3 to 4 months. But you have to be married for a certain amount of time. You get to bring food, you get to do all types of stuff. Like you can bring your favorite DVDs. They have a DVD player. Only thing you can't have is a cell phone.
I mean, it would be nice if Georgia did that, but they don't do that. I wish they did, but they don't do that. And I don't understand why. I feel like that should be something that's in all 50 states. Like, I can say after me and my husband got married, they did allow us to embrace each other longer because, when the guards start seeing you, they, I'm not going to say they become family, but they become more familiar with you. So, like I told them before we went in, I was like, hey, me and babe, we got married. And, I let them know that, and they, they kind of let us embrace a little longer. But other than that, no. Like, he can't hold me below my waist. He can't do anything that they would, like, it's just a kiss and done. And then if we do too much with the kiss, they always give us a warning and let us know. But if you do way too much, they usually don't let you come for like the next 2 visits or something like that. But it's like those 2 hours, that's all we have with our loved one until the next weekend. But I do like in Georgia, we can go every weekend. I know some states don't allow you to go every weekend or every day, but we could go every time they have visits available. We can go. So.
And are y'all allowed video visits?
We're allowed video visits, but majority of
visits?
Yes, we are allowed to have video visits, but majority of the prisons in the state of Georgia, they have a broken kiosk. So even though that's available to us, they're not able to do it because the equipment is broken. Like at my husband's prison, the equipment is broken. So we couldn't do a video visit if we wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give someone that is possibly considering marrying their loved one that's in prison? What advice would you give to them?
I would say pretty much do what Medea said in that play one time. Write down all of your cons on one side, write down all of your pros on one side. If you're able to live with your cons and still benefit from your pros, then do it. But if you're going to be sacrificing too much and you know you're going to have resentment towards your partner, don't do it. Because a lot of people, when they hear, oh, you know, you'll always only just be a probation officer, like I'll never be able to move up to anything else. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have a successful business. I have a healthy husband, a healthy marriage, and my life is good. I'm okay with that. So I'm not going to have any resentment towards my husband because, hey, you're the reason why I can't move up in this world. Like, I would never, I wouldn't say that to him because it's like,
But
I married you knowing it.
But I still feel like that shouldn't, because your husband made a mistake or had an offense or whatever the situation may be, it should not have anything to do with you.
I feel like that too, but I mean, it's like, I felt like at first I was like, okay, I'm being punished for who I love, like that. And then how I found out that I wasn't able to move up, I went to go get like a county badge, which is required for like all law enforcement personnel in the county that we live in. And when I went to the jail, they were like, you visited someone here? I said, yes, my husband was here for a little bit before he was transported to prison. So they went based on the visitation log. They went based on the visitation log at the local county jail, and they informed my employer that, you know, I had a relationship with a former inmate there, and that the inmate was still incarcerated and is currently incarcerated with Georgia Department of Corrections. And that's how I found out I cannot move up any further than what I am. So I didn't even know prior to, and we actually had just got our marriage license. So we had time to back out. That's why my husband was like, you know, if you don't want to go through with it, we don't have to. And I was like, no, we going through with this. Like, I'd have been through so much stuff with you. Like, the last name got to be the same at this point.
I feel like that's discrimination.
It is.
I truly feel like it's discrimination.
It is, but I didn't lose my job behind it. So that's why, like, when I went to, I think I went to the Equal Opportunity Office, they said I really didn't have a case because I didn't lose my job behind it. So, wow. Yeah. So I just left it alone.
That is
like,
crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. So I would do it all over again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you say he will be home in
2027. 2027.
27. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's not too far away.
No, it's not too far. We done did most of it. I mean, he was facing 60 years at age 21. They gave him a 30-year sentence. He has to serve 10 years, probation 10 years, and then they suspended 10 years. So, you know, when you look at it, these little 10 years that he doing now, he could have had 60 and he doing 10. So I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. By the time he come home, my husband will be 29 years old. So I'll take it. He still has life.
And he still have, and he still have a whole life ahead of him, because that's still young. Because I'm looking at a lot of these people in the state of Texas. They giving these guys 99 years, 150 years. They giving them all types of crazy years that they don't want them to see. They don't want them to see outside again. Now, what they would have done in Texas, they would have fired. They probably would have fired you.
Yeah,
in the state of Texas, they probably would have fired you.
I'm sure they would.
And moved or either moved the guy, because I think I talked to a inmate in Texas that he had a relationship with one of the officers, and actually had a child by one of the officers. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they ended up firing her. She ended up getting fired. But again, what would you like to share? Any advice you would like to share with the audience tonight, or anything you would like to share with them?
Last bit of advice that I'm learning.
Time is winding down.
Yeah. So the last bit of advice that I'm learning is anybody that is pursuing a prison relationship, whether you're a male or a female, make sure that you find your tribe. Join some of the Facebook groups, even though some of them they do have chaos and drama. I actually met 6 ladies that I'm very close to that I talk to almost every day. We're in different states. We make sure we check on each other. I don't have any kids, so I call myself the rich auntie of the group, but all of them have kids. I make sure I check on them, tell them happy birthday, just somebody that can understand you, because even though, they glamorize this lifestyle on TV, it's hard. It's really hard. And when I started this process of being with my husband or whatever, I was in college and I was 19 years old. I'm 25. So, it's a lot. It takes a lot on you mentally. It takes a lot on you physically sometimes. Sometimes you're just emotionally drained. Also, when you're in this situation, make sure you take care of you, because you cannot take care of anybody if you erect yourself. I see a lot of people in the prison wife groups who make sure they go broke behind a man. My man will not allow that. You can't do that. You cannot. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing. You got to make sure you take care of yourself so that you can take care of that man or that woman or whoever you're trying to take care of. You got to make sure you take care of you. So you got to be at 100% so that they could be at 100%. And that's it.
Wow. Wow. So I know a lot of self-care come in and play with dealing with someone behind prison walls, because I know it's a mental strain. So I know a lot of self-care comes in play. So what's one of your favorite self-care things?
I love getting my nails and my toes done. I love that. That is so relaxing. And my husband knows that when I'm in the nail salon, do not call me. Do not call me at all. That's my me time. I don't want any interruptions. I don't even want to hear baby. I don't want to hear I love you. I don't want to hear nothing of that. I just want to love myself that day. So no. Nail salon, anything that has to do with like pampering or grooming myself, that's what I'd rather do. That's how I deal with my time.
And you mentioned you had a side business. If you would, I would like for you to share a little bit about your business so that we can support.
Okay. So my side business, I actually have 2. So I started my husband one while he's incarcerated. It's called Motion Mindset. We sell inspirational t-shirts, joggers, and sportswear for people in our situation. And they pretty much motivate people to keep a motion mindset. And when we say that, means always keep moving, no matter what. So we sell those. Those are on TikTok Shop right now. We're actually doing a mini revamp, so the website will be up right before Black Friday. And then the business that I run, I'm a freelance graphic designer. My business is called The Boss Shop LLC. We're located out of Georgia. We actually won Best of Georgia 2 years in a row for graphic design. So I do websites, logos. I do Photoshop, any type of images. A lot of women come to me to merge their images with their loved ones if they never met them. So I do recreate images. And I like educating people on business practices. So that's what I do in my spare time. So I have a busy schedule. God is number one. My husband knows he's second, and then I deal with everything else after.
I mean, that's the best way to be. I mean, you are on track, and I thank you for stopping by and sharing with us on tonight. How can people follow you if they need to connect with your business? How can they follow you?
And I just started another business too. I'm sorry. So I also manage artists like rappers and stuff like that. My husband, he raps. All of his music is released from prison. He's on Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music. He's on everything. I also have 5 other artists that I manage. So if you guys want to tap in with me, my Instagram page for my business is Boss Shop Graphics, and graphics is spelled GFX. And then my personal Instagram that you can follow me on, it's a business page too. But it's real REAL.luxury. So LEXXURY.
Well, I want to thank you for stopping by, and I want you to know that you are always welcome to stop by and chat with me. We are live every fourth Monday of the month. So if you want to stop in and share, you're more than welcome to stop in and share and anything. I just want to be a platform for those prison wives and girlfriends to be able to share what's on their mind. Not always a generalized topic. It's always whatever you want to talk about. Okay. Again, thank you for stopping by.
Thank
and
you.
I'm always in and out of Georgia. So, hey, we might have to connect.
We definitely can. I'm open to that.
Again,
well,
thank you.
For having me.
And yes, I will be in Georgia in November.
Okay. I'll see you then.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for stopping in. I'll inbox you my number so we can stay connected. You have a great night. And again, thank you so much for stopping by and sharing with us for tonight. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
And I want to thank everyone that has tuned in. I want you to make sure that you go over and support my guests on tonight. Y'all be blessed. Tune in tomorrow night. Y'all, we have shows for the next 10 nights. So make sure that you are tuned in at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am the queen of collaborations, and I love you guys. And thank you for supporting the Crew Podcast. Y'all have a blessed night.